Good evening, and I'm here today to talk about the show that I watched. It's called The House of the Dragon, not The House of the Dragon, House of the Dragon. So you get the point, you can Google it. Initially, I wanted to talk about the show on my podcast, but then I was too lazy to just go and record anything of any kind. So I decided to do it on a video. I really liked the show. I loved it. On the internet, if you go on the internet, people are using words like, it's the perfect return to Game of Thrones. I don't really think so. It's the perfect return to Game of Thrones. No one can beat Game of Thrones. But the thing is, it's great. They've done a great job. The storyline is great. The first few episodes really are a drag. Like, literally a drag. A huge drag. Very disappointing. The first few episodes was like, at around episode number 4 or episode number 5, I didn't want to continue watching it. I wanted to abandon it because I was like, hey, what the hell? That's so boring. And it was kind of boring. But eventually they did a great job. And after episode number 7, the episodes 8, 9, and 10, superb. Now, when you talk about characterizations, I think they've done a great job with people who've played the characters. The characters are great. They have really done a good job with the casting. They've really done a good job with the Targaryen casting and the other casting. There have been no real talks about the houses, the Starks and the Baratheons. They were just briefly mentioned in the last 2 episodes, I think, but there was nothing of that sort mentioned. There was mention of things. There was a very, very stupidly a mention of the Song of Ice and Fire, which is kind of the theme of this thing. And I wanted to read Fire and Blood before I did anything else. But as usual, I couldn't. I'm not a very avid reader. I mean, I am an avid reader, but if you put a book in front of me and you turn on the TV, I will pick the TV and leave the book. I'm weird that way. Sorry, I'm filming today while on the move. I'm moving in my balcony because I wanted to just get out of that. And if people around me are watching me right now, they would probably think I'm a fool because I'm hand-holding the microphone, as usual. I'm booming it myself. The microphone. Yeah. So yeah, House of the Dragon, great show. But really, I think I've got the chills. In the last few episodes, they were great. They were really great, and I was talking about the characterizations. They just had a great casting for the show. I mean, the people who played the young characters, a few characters, they had this arc, which was very good. Young Rhaenyra came across as pretty mean and like a very kind of a great character. Alicent. The young Alicent was also... but I liked her. She's gorgeous. The young one. The older one was kind of sly and mean. And ultimately, she succumbs to her desire for the throne and the succession and whatnot. It was kind of boring. It was kind of predictable. But yes, they did a good job with a lot of things. Ultimately, I liked what I saw. I really enjoyed myself watching the show and the characterizations and people playing different characters. I think the highlight of this entire show, season 1, I think, were 3 characters. The first one was King Viserys, King Viserys 1. First of his name, whatever. Alicent Hightower, yes, both young and older version, and of course Rhaenyra, who is the girl who was chosen for succession, and she was supposed to be the heir. All of that, I think it was a lot to process in the beginning, and the comparisons were obviously pretty obvious. That of course there are going to be comparisons with Game of Thrones because it's a Game of Thrones spin-off show, and while Game of Thrones started to have a right chord right from episode number 1. This one didn't do that for me. because I don't know, it just didn't. But yes, towards the end, it was great. Also, I talk about the effects, and the VFX is always great. Game of Thrones earlier seasons, there was not a lot of VFX. Whatever of it was there was great, and other stuff was just not there, not quite there. But this one had quite a bit of VFX because there were dragons from day one, and there was also, the fire-breathing dragons and everything else. The VFX was kind of great. It's potentially very good, very, very good. The storyline was very good. As I said, I did not read the book beforehand. So if there were any plot holes or how they manipulated the story, I have no ideas about that. But Fire and Blood, I have the audiobook. It's around 50% completed, and I could get some similarities, but I honestly wanted to go into the show with a very raw approach. So I did just that. So yeah, the show, it is kind of good. Kind of good. In the end, is there scope for more recordings? Yes, of course. I think I can do a podcast on this, but I don't really see that I'm going to get the time. Oh God, that was an explosion, some sort. But whatever. So I don't even know that I'm going to get some time with this to talk more about this. I don't even know where this is going. I don't even know how this is going. But I'm looking forward to season 2. And come season 2, I think it's going to be great. It's going to be great because now there's just one question that I wanted to ask people, and it was in my mind. What about the war? Will they give the war in the next season before the mid-season finale? Or it will be dragged till season number 8 or 9 or 10 or 6 or 7 like Game of Thrones did? If it's going to be a drag, please, I'm not going to be part of it. But if you're gonna give me some good action, yes, I'm in. As I said on Twitter the other day, Miguel Sapochnik is associated with the show, and he's been a fan favorite. Like, his action sequences are great, one of a kind. I really like that. So he's in the show, and he's been named a co-creator this time. I don't even know if he's a co-creator or he is just a director for a few episodes, but the action sequences are, as usual, great. The fighting sequences in this one were also pretty good, pretty decent, pretty nice. All in all, I think it's a great beginning to a great prequel show, a great spin-off show to the Game of Thrones. Obviously, Game of Thrones is on a different level altogether, barring the fact that the last few seasons, probably 7, 8, maybe 6 as well for some people, were terrible for some people. For me, they were not terrible. I liked what happened. It was rushed a bit, and I know I'm gonna get a lot of flack for it. Hey, how do you like that? It was shit. No, it's fine. It was shit, but it was not that big a shit that people have kind of projected it to be. So yeah, I've been doing my research on the show. Anything else I would like to contribute, I will just come again on a video. Probably next time I would be in my room with all the good lighting and not in darkness around here. But this is just just an opinion video. So House of the Dragon 4 and 5, sure. I shared it on my Discord as well, and in Twitter too. I also watched a few other shows from Netflix. They were trash, so I'm not going to talk about that. Take care.